Hey, it's Daryl. I'm checking in from Nashville. I almost said Nashville, California. Not the case. um, so I grew up in California, and when I was in California, I found my way to yoga, like many of us do. I did that in 2005 after a series of deaths in my family, and I found that I was able to heal on my mat in a way that was not ever in my mind, actually. And that brought me to Vedic astrology and also to Ayurveda, which all of these three sister sciences support one another, and they are really the basis of Samnat and the Dharma, which is how we are unifying all of the elements within our bodies, within our lives, and how we can live our best life, really. What I like about Vedic astrology is it's very specific, and it's practical, and it makes sense, and it's time after case study after case study, you can see where it's different than Western in that these predictions happen based on these particular cycles called Vimshotri Dasha cycles. Anyways, that doesn't matter so much. But it's fascinating. If you want to know a little bit more, stick around, or if you're new to me, just know that I dabble in a lot of Vedic astrology, Ayurveda, and yoga. This is my passion. And I want to share it with you because I think we should all know a little bit about not necessarily what's coming, but why it feels the way that it does. And when you take a look at your own personal birth chart, it helps us understand where there might be maybe blind spots or shadows, and our nature. We're all slightly different, and we have this like a fingerprint of energy. That's the moment that we're born, we create this karma cycle that's starting right at the moment that you're born in. Then we've got our transits, and this transit is what I'm talking about. And I wanted to talk about the full moon tomorrow. The full moon is in the sidereal zodiac. Sidereal is the one that we're using, not tropical. And this is in Capricorn. So this feels sometimes slightly structured, or maybe not fear-based, but locked down, and just kind of, we want safety here. So this may be the internal feeling that you're having. Then all these other planets are in transit too. Not to mention that depending on where the moon is for you or where your ascendant is, this shifts everything in the chart. So we can say generally for everyone, moon in Capricorn may feel this way, but for someone who's a Virgo ascendant, that's going to be the connection to the children might feel a little constricted, or have some other fears around that, or just feeling how they'll experience it. Also depends on how the moon is in your chart, not just your ascendant, but where the moon is and all the other planets. They all come into play. So just keeping it very small, as that the moon is going to be full, pregnant with light, and really bringing out what we were planting our seeds in 2 weeks ago at the new moon. Where did you come from there? What were your intentions then? And how they come to fruition? Are you working towards what you're setting out to do? I know I have great ideas, and I just kind of just can't get off the dime sometimes. And now's a good time to take a moment and reflect on that and see, what it is that you're aiming for. Do a reassess. There's a lot happening in the sky, and I'm not going to go into that too much. Also, the Saturn retrograde with the moon, it can feel a little bit compressed. Saturn gives us this ability for endurance. It also gives us an awareness of timelines. It's kind of that, my teacher talked about it as like the security guard in the story, kind of eyeballing you, and it's there. You can feel it. So what are you going to do about it? That kind of thing. Speaking of teachers, Guru Purnima is tomorrow, and this is celebrated in India. Guru is Sanskrit for Jupiter, but Guru means teacher, to teach. It's a nice time to take a moment to reflect. So I want to thank in advance Sam Jeffy, my teachers, my yoga teachers, Prana Vinyasa, Kelly Doyle, let's see, Shiva Ray, Shelley. I've had many teachers along the way, and I'm still learning. And I also have a responsibility to pass the hand back to those that are behind me. So I'm trying to share a little bit here about Vedic astrology and why. Like, why do we care about Vedic astrology? Well, I like it as not so much how to fix and get me out of this problem, but to understand, like, where are my deficits? Like, where can the light be shine down in certain areas and help me understand why the mix is coming this way? Is it really the case? It's not just to save my biscuits, but it's more about to dive deeper and understand if I'm just spiraling for the sake of spiraling, or is there some lesson to be learned here? And to see when karma's ripen. And karma is not that you do good, you get good. This is the misnomer. Karma means action. And, when we aren't taking the action, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of this lifetime. I was recently reading this book, and I wish I could remember the quote very well, but it's also a quote from the Bhagavad Gita, which is really, if you're not living your own dharma, you're living somebody else's dharma. It's a waste. You have to live your own dharma in order to be able to fulfill your life and bring out the gifts in all ways. And many of us are very self-critical. That can show up in a chart. We can see where the areas of instability are and how to bolster them in ways that really help you get to your dharma and bring that out. It doesn't, I'm thinking about how this last 2020 and a lot of people are quitting their jobs and, taking to the road or getting a schoolie and fixing it up and just booking it out. What's important in life? I'm so happy to see that so many people have done this, but it triggers me to think, is this all I'm supposed to be doing? I don't think so. I know there are deeper callings to this Vedic astrology. I love. I have a passion for it. I love to share it. I'm highly intuitive. I get messages through my guides that I can share with others in addition to doing this. And it's just my gateway into helping. And I know that's my dharma, is to help people, help others, and help make this planet a little bit more bearable while we're here. We're not here to just skulk around and be upset and, be afraid of COVID all the time. That stinks. That is not why we're here. We're here to grow along spiritual lines and take a stand, and be there for one another and to live. And so if you don't know where you're going, that's okay. Me either. I'm just here for it, and I want to show up for it, and I want to talk to you more about planets. Where your ascendant is highly dependent on where this moon is going to feel this certain way for you, and all the other planets as well. But that's also dependent on your birth time. So if you have questions on that, you can connect with me at soulsankalpa.com or follow me on Instagram at soulsankalpa. And Sankalpa means intention. What is your soul's intention? You came here for a reason, right? We are the Jiva Atman of the Atman. We are the drop in the ocean. And we are the microcosm of the macrocosm, and it's all connected. So what is your story? Why are you here? Now let's take a look at that. Anyways, I hope you're all doing great. Have a blessed full moon and enjoy it thoroughly. I think in Nashville, we have a full moon picking party, which is really fun. Anyways, be well and let me know if you have questions. All right.